Guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Kansai Collective. Today we're interviewing
Chris,
our UK Aussie Connect, talking about AI-generated art, philosophy of art, what even is art, his art. Lots of other interesting things, and some tips on ways you can get involved here in Osaka. So if you guys are interested in all that stuff, we will see you soon on the podcast.
Kansai Kollective. West side of Japan, we out here coolin', Zane and Nessa got connections. We know you got questions. Ain't no need to
The team, the gang.
Hey everyone, sorry for the interruption. This is Aaron, the editor for Kansai Collective. Just letting you know that something happened to the audio for this episode, so it's a little bit, it doesn't sound as good as usual. So just want to apologize for that, and hopefully it's still listenable. Thanks a lot.
The Kansai Collective, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode.
Kansai.
It's Asa Questenberry, the host. Join me, my man.
Zane, live in the Kansai.
I feel like you haven't done the live in the Kansai part.
I don't want to be known. I don't like to be put in boxes, man.
You can't.
I'm very free.
You can't box Zane in, man. Once you think you know his brand, he switches up.
Yeah.
You know, you guys like the blonde dreads today. Next week they might be red. You know, you never know what you're gonna get.
Not
with
red.
Zane. Not
Let's
red.
try like a off.
If you could pick any color other
bleach.
than other than blonde, what color? You had like a color, not like a absence of color.
That's hard.
Green, Liliati style.
No.
Get a grill too.
No.
Coming soon.
If
Another
anything, it'll be
episode.
purple.
If anything, it'll be purple. Okay. Murasaki boy.
Murasaki
Guys,
boy.
thank you for tuning in. As always, if you've been following us from the beginning, we appreciate you. If you're just joining now, happy to have you on the Kansai Collective, where we interview all of the interesting people, businesses, things going on in the Kansai region of Japan. We're based here in beautiful Osaka.
Yeah,
Homachi.
we wanna interview more Japanese people because
けど日本語はちょっと難しいですね。
even with so we can get like maybe translator or subtitles.
We'll see. Whatever you guys.
So
whatever you guys
subscribe
can
to that
help.
Patreon.
Yes, jump on the Patreon if you guys are interested.
Get
That's
on
how
that
we can bring you
Patreon.
guys more.
We need some support.
Content. Enough about us. Good sir.
hello.
Welcome to the Kansai Collective. Please introduce yourself for the friends at home.
Hi, my name's Cristian Townsend.
Townsend.
Chris.
Townsend.
Chris. Call him Chris.
What kind of name is that? That's cool.
Where is Townsend from?
Well, my parents are English.
Okay. Which part of English? The sheep part of England, or
Well, my mother is.
Okay.
My mother's from Sheffield, but my father is Cockney. He's a
Cockney.
Londoner. Cockney.
Rhyming
Just took that
slang.
Rhyming slang, yeah.
get yourself a butcher's over at Chris. Excellent.
Sorry,
That means-
guys. I have
that
no
means-
clue what that means.
Zane's
I'm
about
so
to get
lost.
Zane's about to get a culture lesson.
It was a culture
quickly.
shock,
Culture
yeah.
shock. Yes. Well, Chris, thank you for joining us, good sir. Let's get the standard gaijin questions out of the way.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Japan? Where are you based at?
I've been in Japan for about 12 years.
12
Wow,
years.
okay.
Doing
OG.
some. Yeah, you got some time going.
Yeah, and based in Osaka.
Have you always been based in Osaka?
No, when I first came to Japan, I lived in Kobe, which is a nice place.
But
But
always
different vibe.
very
different. In what
different
ways?
vibe.
Explain that to the audience.
Kobe has more space, basically. So it's more spacious.
Right,
And
that's true.
they seem to be a bit more relaxed, I guess.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's and some people say it's more sophisticated than Osaka.
I think so.
That's what because I like, for people that haven't been to Kansai, like Kansai again, as we've mentioned many times, is Osaka, it's Kyoto, it's Kobe, it's Nara. You can even say it's Shiga area down to Wakayama. There's a lot of areas. Kobe gets that reputation of being sophisticated. I forget who I was talking to, but they were saying because Kobe was one of the first ports opened up internationally, it was one of the first places that there was actual foreign culture coming into
makes
Japan.
sense.
So because of that, like
Yeah,
it made its
so-
mark on its city.
Well, that's one of the biggest international cities in Japan. Kobe.
Probably, I would say
Yeah.
Tokyo, Osaka, Kobe.
Yeah, it's
I
up
don't-
there.
I mean, Kyoto's international for tourists, but I
Right.
don't think there's lots of international business set up in
That's true.
Kyoto. I think because of the port there in Kobe. Kobe
Yeah,
beef.
heritage like a foreigner area.
Right. America Harbor. What's the harbor? American Harborland.
Harborland.
Right. It's okay.
Yeah, the food is really good in Kobe. I love the food.
Top
The
tier.
style is super cool, and it is definitely more spacious. But because you guys, they have the mountains, the beach.
And everything in between.
Yeah, I think. Well, the mountains are really close to the beach. That's why.
Well, so
people
it's
really
interesting
like-
because, like, to me, when you guys said like it's more spacious, I was like kind of confused because, like, again, here's Japan, here's Osaka, Kobe. Kobe's you're sandwiched between mountains and beach, but it's like a rather thin strip of area. So, like, in what way do you guys mean it's more spacious?
I think of like the architecture. Like it's a city, but it's a really small city. Like it's got small city vibes. So I feel like when you're saying it's wide, it's like there's a lot of stuff in Kobe, but you got to go really far to get. I think travel.
There's lots of people on, but it's got a wider, the bigger area, and you feel like more free. It feels more Western, right? But I really love Osaka. That's why I came here.
Tell us why. Yes. Tell the folks at home. Osaka.
Because it's like a hub, right? It's the hub. You can go to Kyoto, you can go to Kobe, you can go to all these places. It's very easy to live. The people are fun.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I like that kind of. I don't know. Osaka seems to be like the Australia of Japan. They've got this no BS kind of attitude. They're kind of jokers.
The Kansai gene.
Yeah, they're like jokers. I like those kind of people.
They're
Like
strict.
larrikins.
Are they very Cockney?
No, they're larrikins. There's another word for you.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't even know larrikin. What's
Larrikin is an Aussie term for a joker.
A joker. A larrikin.
A larrikin.
Oh, we gotta say
it's
that.
easy to be the
We gotta say
larrikin.
that to Aaron and see.
It's like a lad in the UK.
A lad.
A lad, a joker.
okay.
A lad.
Oh,
You little
larrikin.
lad. Larrikin. All right, Aaron, you little larrikin. Well, thank you for editing. We appreciate it. It's
Yes.
excellent.
And also the fashion, the food. Osaka is the stomach of Japan, right?
Stomach of
Mama's
Japan.
kitchen.
That's true.
The Mama's Kitchen, as it's
So,
called. Yeah.
although Kyoto is good for certain kind of food and Kobe is good for certain kind of food, but Osaka has got lots of different kinds of restaurants
Food
and
culture.
style.
Yeah. And we interviewed a couple people. We've interviewed restaurant owners, bakers, and that's a common topic we come back to, where it's like the variety of food you can find in Osaka is impressive. I think, Tokyo, of course, just with its size, you get tons of food culture, has the highest number of Michelin stars in the world. But Osaka, I think you find more of the local hole in the wall, secret spots that are just absolutely out of this world.
All
So
of that fashion comes from Osaka too. That's what people don't realize. It doesn't come from Shibuya or Tokyo. It comes from Osaka.
Wow, what in what way? What?
You know the Lolita Goth and all those kind of like underground kind of. They come from Osaka. Most of them anyway. So that's what I find interesting.
Osaka's the manufacturing hub of Japan. That's where, so like a lot of in old times, like a lot of the clothes they wore in Kyoto were made in Osaka
that's dope.
and sent up to Kyoto.
dope.
So Osaka's got a fashion university. There's our previous guest Kato just got accepted into said fashion university here in Osaka. But yeah, actually a lot of people don't know that Osaka has one of the biggest manufacturing and textile productions in Japan for fashion. Yes.
I don't want to make this a thing because we're on a good conversation, but I went to a good sushi spot in like Shinsaibashi yesterday. They're open 24 hours.
Okay.
And it's super good. They had this thing called unagi. The unagi sushi. Oh my god, like it's to die for, bro.
Did you go with some fashion people, or where does this plug into?
I just had to because it was a great time. You guys talking about food in Osaka, and I love Osaka. I love Osaka, and that was just one thing like this. Yeah, this just.
Speaking of which, I went to get sushi.
And then this morning I went to an onsen, bro. It's just.
You start your summer mornings at an onsen?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You take a shower, you know, and I like sitting in the shower, having the water just hitting me, right?
That's where Zane gets his creative inspiration.
And then you go into the hot tub, and then you go into the cold tub. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you chill out.
That's one thing that Osaka doesn't have so much is the good onsens.
You get the dirty Ojisan onsen.
That's nothing wrong with that.
I was gonna
Those
say,
are fire. Local.
I'm cool with
listen,
it. They
guys.
let you in with tattoos, so I'm
local
cool with
spots is where you want to go. The Super Santos is not where you want to go because it's very stuck up. You feel me? But you're gonna get the raw Japanese.
Where there's a guy climbing up the chimney, cleaning it out on top. That's like there's this whole article about that's like they're trying to preserve that industry with because it's like a very select like sentos are indoor, like onsens are technically outside, right? Onsen is hot water spring, hot spring, right? Sentos are bathhouses. There's a little separate difference. Sentos typically have a giant chimney that lets all the fumes and filtered air out of the top, and they have chimney sweeps, people that climb up and clean them. So like you need to find like you got to find the local sento with like the old 70-year-old man like climbing to the top of the chimney trying to clean it out. Those are the spots.
What's the most interesting hot spring that you've been to? You travel around Japan a bit?
It was close to I'm pretty sure it was in Fukui, and
that's my wife's hometown, by the way.
Oh wow!
So Owara Onsen.
So yeah, like a lot of onsens, like the way this onsen was built, it was like dug into the earth.
Yeah.
And usually onsens are not made that way.
I feel like normal onsens, they just pile rocks around a spring and it fills up naturally. But I don't know anything. But I've never been to Fukui, so
Fukui's
you tell us,
awesome.
where's your best Fukui onsen?
Owara Onsen is the most famous.
Owara.
Hot spring area. Owara Onsen. And there's also another hot spring town in Ishikawa, which is really
Yes, exactly.
Kaga.
Yes,
Kaga
that's where it was. It was over in that area.
That's why. So you asked what's your best onsen. I just pointed at him because he's the onsen dude.
I go to onsens.
That's his thing.
All
Temples and onsen. Yeah.
Yo, Chris, what we were on the subject of Osaka.
Yeah.
You've been here for 12 years. What would be like an ideal day in Osaka for you? Like, what would you do during the day?
Classic Osaka day.
Yeah, classic like Osaka fun day.
I don't know. Well, as I said, Osaka is a hub, so you can pretty much do anything you want to do, just depending on your mood.
Okay, well, what would you like to
Wake
do?
up,
What do you do?
pound a chuhai, eat some rice,
That's what Asa would do, everybody. But Chris is a
drunkenly
little
stumble through
sophisticated.
Shinsekai, go fight an old man at the onsen, get yelled
Nah,
at.
you wouldn't last that long in Japan if you were doing that on a daily.
You're daily just getting hammered and picking fights with old men, bro. They take you out quick, man. I got a buddy. His air conditioner broke a year ago, and it's a cheap little air conditioner, and he called out a repair guy to fix it. And the repair guy like shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, that's broken. I don't know what to do. Give me $500." And my friend was like, "Nah, I'm not paying you to tell me my broken air conditioner is broken, which is why I called you here." Needless to say, that started a series of like a 7th-month experience of this guy like stalking his house, showing up, threatening to kill him, threatening to call the Yaki boys on him, like to the point where like at the end I was like, dude, you should have just, you don't want to be bullied, but the headache you got from this over 8 months is probably like, ended up with a restraining order. They went to court. So yeah, if you're picking fights with old Japanese men every day, you're not gonna last long.
That is not an experience you want out here.
So this name.
All right.
So anything you want to do, typically, that's your saying. That's your benefit of Osaka. Whatever mood you're in,
Yeah,
you can.
like I said, well, you can go to Umeda. You can go to Shinsaibashi. You can go. If you want, you can go to Kyoto. There's lots of like interesting bars.
So my question, what I ask anyone that's got more than 10 years in Kansai, I like to ask the same question, which is like, recently there's tons of investment coming into Osaka. Umeda is totally different than what it used to be. In what ways has the city changed since when you first got here to now?
Well, lots. Like what's the Grand Front Osaka? That's only been built just recently. It's become more like trendy. There's lots of, like some areas have just been shut down and just been refurbished.
Right.
Some of it was supposed to be for the Olympics, but anyway.
Shanai.
Right, you remember that? That was crazy.
You guys remember that? Yeah, that was a whole. They like.
Like they remember the dorms. Like they didn't want the athletes to have sex with each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they made little cardboard dorms and like no condoms. They're like, this is bad, man.
That's it.
You know what's even more tragic about the Olympics is they got rid of like the the fish market. The fish market in Tokyo. It's like the most.
Yeah.
It's like a 700-year-old fish market. They ripped it down to build
the new one yet. But,
They did build a new one, yeah. I did an article on it before, but it was like they did all these, they got rid of like historic places for the Olympics, and it was just like just totally flopped.
Well, Kobe as well. You're talking about that's totally. I used to live in Kobe when I first got here, and they had like a whole area where the foreigners used to hang out. They called it Tits Park.
Tits Park. You
Tits
can say
Park.
tits on
Tits
air,
Park.
Chris. It's
Yeah,
okay.
sorry. It's not a banned word, is it?
Free range
No. How do you spell tits?
Tits Park.
How do we spell tits?
TIPS.
Oh, tips.
Tips. Tips
Because of the statue in the middle of the park.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like an amorphous body with
Tips.
Tips.
yes, human appendages. And that whole area was just refurbished.
The foreigners like to hang out here? Nah, get rid of this place. Throw this one out, throw the hub out, throw all these places the foreigners hang out. So, okay.
All right.
So
Well-
tons of change, really.
Yeah, tons of change,
Because
yeah.
even my Japanese friends, when I go on visits all the time, they were like, yeah, you should have seen, you think it's dirty now. you should have seen 10
Yeah,
years
but
ago.
always in a good way as well. Like there's been lots of like great restaurants. There was like a Nuno Biki herb garden, which I really like because they used fresh herbs, right? And they had like a buffet. It was like the ropeway. You had to go
Oh, right, in
ropeway
Kobe, yep,
up
yep,
to
yep.
the top, and they had like a good restaurant.
That's
And they used to have
nice.
like a really good buffet, but that's all gone.
So I want to
Ninja
know.
restaurant in Kyoto, that's gone. Which was fun. That was my wife's favorite.
Tourists. I want to know 2 good things about Kobe, 2 bad things. Or 1 good thing, 1 bad thing, and then 1 good thing about Osaka, 1 bad thing.
I find those kind of questions difficult.
Okay.
But for
Next.
Osaka, I'd say, but it's crowded. So whenever you want to do stuff, and Kyoto as well, like on the holidays, you just can't do shit.
Small country, lots of people.
Yeah.
Very
Like a museum, want to go to a museum on the public holiday? Forget it.
It's because we're gonna get a soundboard.
hilarious.
We want to get a soundboard, and I want to get all of these
That
little.
would be good.
Forget it. Forget about it. That's funny.
That was so good.
Yeah, crowded, man, crowded. And we've talked about this, where it's like one of the best things about COVID was being here.
One of the biggest things about COVID, yeah.
Is being here during
Yeah.
COVID. No one could come here, so it's like these places that are typically like
Crowded.
rammed with people. You're just like, oh my god, there's no one at.
Yeah, I took my son to USJ when, just at the end of the.
Rode every ride possible.
Yeah.
6 times, no lines. How many children you got?
3.
3. So you are helping the population.
That's it,
Congratulations, sir. You've been busy helping repopulate the country. Leave it to the
Yeah, I've got to
foreigners.
do my bits. Got to do my bit.
We all gotta do
All
our
right,
parts.
well, Chris, let's get into some details because I met Chris through an art project, and let people know what do you do, Chris? You've been here for 12 years. What is it that you do?
Well, I do a few things, but my passion is photography and art.
Okay. But it's not like, because you say that, and in my mind, when you say photography and art, me being in Japan too, I'm thinking like you go to a temple or you go like you get street photography and you say art. That's very broad. But I think what you do is very niche.
Dial it in for us.
Yeah,
Niche.
dial in.
I don't think it's niche. Because I just do what I love to do, and I think I've always been interested in surrealism and fantasy and visionary art. And my father was a photographer, so I grew up in the photographic industry. My first job was digital graphic design
Oh, wow.
for some of the big studios.
Okay. In Australia?
In Australia, yeah.
Okay.
So when that first started, the first digital revolution.
Oh.
So I didn't actually work as a photographer. I worked as a digital artist.
Are you Australian?
No, I'm English. I was born in England.
Okay, I was confused.
But I grew up in Australia, so
So you got arrested and they sent you.
Yeah, I didn't have the yeah. So I'm essentially I'm born in England, but I grew up. I moved to Australia when I was 2, so I consider myself Australian.
Okay.
I have Australian citizenship
An accent, which makes sense. Okay,
So I can put on the British accent. So I can put on the British accent if I want BBC pronunciation.
There we go.
But then I can do my Aussie accent if I want.
Okay.
How's it going, babe?
I feel like I'm talking to Aaron, man. I was super confused. I was like, I thought this guy was British. Yeah, they're all the same to me.
So you started out
back to
doing
surrealism.
digital. What would you say that? What's it called again? Digital
Manipulation.
Digital manipulation. Okay, and
Photomontage, digital manipulation, whatever floats your boat.
okay.
Photoshop.
No, I'm not just using Photoshop. That's a little bit, you know.
Way to simplify it down to a moronic level. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, you can use all kinds of software programs. Photoshop is the big tool to do photo manipulation. But again, I don't see it like there are some photographers who are the purists. They just like to take a picture and they just like to say, well, this is photographic art
from the camera.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like any kind of purism because it's ridiculous. Like, because when photography appeared, and people said, "Well, this is not art. It's just a technical thing. You just press a button." And still, people today say the same thing. It's not art. It's just taking a picture. But that's BS, right? Photography is an art. Nobody can take a good picture. Like with smartphones, people now can take good pictures more easily, but still. There's lots and lots of rubbish. You need some skill in taking pictures.
Right. Need a good eye, but yes.
Not just good eye, but there's a knowledge about art and
composition, angles, light. Yeah.
We can get very philosophical because.
What is art?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea? Let us know down in the comments, friends. What is art?
Because eating sushi can be an art as well.
It can be.
Technically, the Kansai Collective is art.
It is an art.
In many ways. It's interesting. So, digital manipulation, you know, taking images, manipulating them, crafting them into surreal types of things. And before the episode, if you guys had, some of our Patreon, you can see some of the content we put on before talking about the discussion, but we can dig into a little bit more. What were you showing us earlier on your phone? Let's jump into that.
Well, this is the new step. I mean, my stuff is like photo manipulation. I'm using digital photographs to create some kind of like surreal or fantasy idea or thing, some image. But just recently, I think within the last month, they've just released some AI software.
Okay.
The two biggies, I guess, would be Midjourney, or three biggies: Midjourney, DALL-E. DALL-E, and Stability AI.
Midjourney, DALL-E, Stability AI.
Off the names, which one would you use?
DALL-E, because it sounds like Wally.
That's the worst, actually. Oh, no. Sorry.
Check us out for sponsorships for Midjourney and Stability AI. Sorry, DALL-E.
I like Stability AI.
Stability, I think Midjourney sounds catchy, but Midjourney I've seen on like TikTok and stuff. I think there's been people.
It's been on TV, just because of the crazy stuff that you can create.
So why is this crazy? Break into for someone that uses it. Give us your take. What are the...
It's basically, you type in anything. You type in, they call it the prompt. You type in whatever. So you could say, you just told me some prompt before. So you want
free
your
range
business
tips.
Is what?
My business is Skyscape Kubishigaishi, building air taxi infrastructure.
That just changed.
Here in Japan.
Was it always Skyscape?
Oh, little early release. Technically, it's not public information yet, but when this comes out, maybe it'll be public. Yeah. Air taxi infrastructure. So we type that in.
Taxis in a Blade Runner style, and then you have to add some more detail,
Japan.
Like lighting.
A third month of the
nebula
year.
light rays through the clouds, etc., etc.
And what happens?
And then after you type in your prompt, then you press enter, and then within about 10 seconds to 1 minute, you get 4 images.
That's wild.
4 images.
From scratch.
Yeah, from scratch, from out of the air. Basically, it's taking all images from the internet and just extrapolating them and putting them all together and it's like basically it's like photo collage, right? Really, but seamless photo collage.
That's wild. Like, think about where technology has come from and to where it is right now. Like, think about it, 5 to 6 seconds. All of that you typed in, it just takes that from the internet and puts it into one picture.
Computers are smart. We can get into post-humanism philosophical discussions, but we'll say that for another time. So,
and you can also there's some programs where you can actually do like video editing just by cutting.
oh wow, okay.
So, like for example, this one. So the computer will get text of what we just said, and say if I made a boo boo, and then you just delete the boo boo, and then it'll automatically cut it out.
Oh, we need to find out that software because our producer would love
Patreon,
that,
support us.
man.
We'll put that. We'll use that.
We'll block out all the inappropriateness and put it on our Patreon for you guys all to enjoy. One of you guys is doing so. I think it's Zane. Zane
that one was me.
Earthquaking the table over here, man. Thank God my coffee is gone. Christ. So
why are you saying Chris's name?
no, he's Chris, man. Christian with no H.
Christ.
They don't believe in the Father and Son down on Duran. They don't got that.
No.
Chris, I don't want to look at him because if he's really religious and I don't know, I'm about to.
He would have.
No, he's okay. I was making Australia jokes. Yes. Moving on. Why is AI prompts? Why is it even headline worthy?
Why? Because basically, people that couldn't draw, people that couldn't take a picture, can now just type in whatever and get like some decent artwork.
So people are complaining that now anyone can make these pictures, but from what you were telling us earlier, that you don't really view this as the case.
Well, not really. I think it helps people to create some image that's pretty good to start with, but it doesn't create something unique, I don't think, just yet. Because the Mid-Journey pictures and the stability AI have a certain look. It's not unique. And all art has... what makes it important is its uniqueness, right?
Quote, what makes art? The uniqueness, the individuality behind it.
Yeah, and the thought behind it. It's not just your technical skill, which takes a lifetime to hone, but it's your philosophy behind what you're doing, which is important to me. It's like photography as well. It's not just taking a picture. It's the philosophy behind it. It's like the great photographers, like Ansel Adams. They have a philosophy behind their work, which informs the whole style.
Process, what it comes. Yeah, right.
It's a fact. I look at karate in the same way. That it's a thought process. A lot of people think karate is just, punches and kicks, but you can use karate in your everyday life. So
the philosophy.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like in so much with all art forms, right? Like you have your fundamentals, but exactly as Chris is saying, is what makes it art is that individual's perception and output of those fundamentals with their own unique spin on it, right?
It's still in its infancy, right? It's just beginning. Like last month was just released, so nobody knows where it's going and what can be achieved with it.
There's this.
So, but I just think that for me, like I'm an ideas person. I like just think up new ideas and doing something different. And this like frees me up. I can experiment and brainstorm, and then once after I brainstorm, I can use Photoshop and then use other kind of mediums to build up on it, create some kind of uniqueness.
I think it would be great for like a brainstorm. You know?
Inspiration.
Inspire
like storyboarding. I think it's going to help. Maybe I think some artistic jobs are going to suffer, maybe like storyboard artists or video game concept artists.
Yeah, they definitely will. But I feel like at the end of the day, like human connection is super important. So like, you can have like a robot giving you a massage, but like having an actual person's hands massaging you.
Warmth. But what if you had warm robot hands? What if the robot's hands were so close to human hands you didn't know they were human hands or robot hands?
then
In the future, we don't know.
we don't
Robot
know.
brothels
Not there.
coming to you soon.
Very Westworld. Very Westworld.
There was a guy in Texas. He caused a bunch of stir with this. He started a robot brothel. And it's like, I'm telling you, man, that's the biggest problem is going to be loss of people because
I wanted to
banging
tell
robots.
the people like a cool phrase of like in Japanese it's called shuhari. Have you guys ever heard shuhari?
No, what's that?
So basically, shu is to mamoru, which means to protect. So like with any art, you protect it. This is like the foundation. But then ha is breaking it, means to break, smash. So you break it down, you understand it to its like little pieces. But then ri means to take yourself away from it. So basically what they're basically saying is like you have the foundation, but the foundational art, but you break it down to understand it, but then you create your own art from it. So you take yourself from this art and create something new. So kind of like what Chris is saying, you could take this app or whatever and you can just understand it, you can just use it where it need be and in the art that you want to create.
Because so the reason this is a topic at Current is literally, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. However, by the time this episode comes out, it won't be too long. But in Colorado, there was an art competition, and the first place prize went to one of these AI generated. It was a picture. It was a picture made by AI. Midjourney. Props to Midjourney. You guys are winning awards. But obviously, the second, third, everyone else that lost is like, it's not fair. Is this even art? So it started this philosophical debate of what is art, and I think you summarized it perfectly, where it's like art is just our way of expressing ourselves with whatever tools are available. It doesn't, if I give that AI app to a 7-year-old that's got the lexicon and like vocabulary of a 7-year-old, he's probably not going to be able to utilize it to someone like yourself.
Well, so you need, with the you need to write a prompt, so you have to be somewhat descriptive. And you have to have a knowledge about photography. You have to have a knowledge about art, and also a knowledge about literature and style. There are lots of people studying art now just so they can write some interesting prompts. So in the style of H.R. Geiger, in the style of Gustav Klimt.
Lovecraft.
Lovecraft fan. Yeah.
I'm interested because this but think about like a child who makes art who has no like understanding of what art is in the human spectrum, you know what I'm saying? But they can create something beautiful at the same time. So
by the way, there's something that would be good for children. There's going to be a new feature to, I think, Midjourney. They're gonna, so kids can draw something on just a piece of paper. They can and automatically make it into like a 3D picture.
Like a realistic.
So
they draw some ugly horse and then it's like alive.
But it's going to give it a variation or shape, so the kids can draw their own picture and then play with it as well, which is creative.
That's cool.
There was a company doing that where they were taking kids' drawings and they were turning them into toys, like stuffed animals. It was like same thing where they were taking like your weird bird and they like turned it into like a plushie.
And I think like Team Lab in Japan, they're doing like the kids are drawing some picture and they scan it and all.
And it goes on the wall. Have you seen that? The Team Lab? Exactly. You scan it.
Kind of stuff.
So are you more into the digital things? I guess you are because you started out in that.
He's not a purist.
Yeah,
So he's not a purist.
Yeah, not a
At all.
purist.
So that's why I don't have a fear about technology. I like technology.
Just tools
Because
for you.
my father was a photographer, but again, I have an art background as well. I started off trying to be like a painter,
So
graphic artist.
there's things that, like, for example, what you're talking about that I really accept, and there's things that I don't. Like for art,
For example?
for art, I think it's great to have digital, because it cuts down processes. Well, I don't know, because for me, like karate, you will always need your body, and you need to be in the physical room with the person to really understand karate's principles. And
But you said you can use karate in your day-to-day.
Yeah, but you need to learn the principles through your body from a sensei.
Oh, okay. So you're
You
saying
know what
like
I'm saying?
actually
You can't
study,
go on YouTube and become a karate master. Impossible for a fact. You need to be in the room with the sensei. So I think that connection is super important, and you can't skip those processes to really like the foundation of karate.
This is why I'm not scared about technology taking over, because it's like language as well, like some translation tool, learning English, for example. It's not just about the language.
Right.
It's about the culture behind it.
The nuance.
Yeah, it's like that's why expressions are very difficult to understand, because it's not
Just like that Cockney shit.
Cockney rhyming slang. You guys know
I have
Cockney
no
rhyming
clue.
slang?
It's like flying over my head. Like
Go to YouTube and get yourself a
clue.
butchers. Have yourself a butchers. Stupid. Sorry, all our Cockney viewers, but that ish is crazy. Don't make any sense. Cockney rhyming slang is a slang from the UK, part of Cockney, London area, and you basically take a word, you rhyme it with something, and then you connect that vaguely to something else, and then that word means this word. For example, let's go look at this. Look. What rhymes with look? Look. A hook. A butcher's hook. Butchers means look. Let's have a butcher's. Let's have a look. A butcher's hook. A look.
I'm confused.
Or mince pie.
yeah, mince. Let's have a mince.
What's the one they say for your wife? Trouble and strife.
Yeah, trouble and strife.
Your trouble and strife, your wife.
That's kind of funny, though.
That's one's kind of the ball and chain. That one's a good one. Zane's like, I
I'm
don't
kind
know.
of getting it,
I don't
but
get it.
I don't want to use it.
It's okay.
It's not worth it.
So
It's cool, but
so
it's not.
technology, man. But going back to the art thing, right? They're tools. They're tools. They're tools. They allow for different forms of expression.
Money is a tool.
Money is a store of value. If we want to get real finance bro on it, it's just what we decide is worth whatever we decide it's worth. For example, maybe I take your dreads and I cut them off, and then suddenly, I'm trying to convince everyone that this dread is worth a lot of money.
That would be cool.
If I can get people to agree, to agree to it, then that dread is worth a lot of money.
Why don't we just do that?
Tulips, bro. Tulips and Bitcoin. It's all the same. So, interestingly enough, so you use Midjourney for inspiration, and you said you just like, curious, creative things.
Actually, the reason why I started using AI was because I was doing the series of photographs with Zane as like a fantasy project, and I wanted to do something else, something a bit more epic.
More epic than Zane in a gladiator costume?
More epic, yeah.
You guys gotta go check that out.
super dope.
Aaron, please put a picture of Zane in a gladiator outfit
It's
right
so
here.
fire.
Zane, you dressed him up as a gladiator?
Yeah, actually, that's all
awesome.
real. There's no AI in that. There's a real suit of armor. That one.
That made me giggle. That one was a good little laugh. Nice little tin bath there, without a doubt.
Careful, he'll be coming for you on Halloween.
Yes.
I tell you, Zane
Don't
looks
tell him
intimidating,
that.
man. If I'm out in the field and this, blonde, dreadlocked Spartan comes at me, man, I'm like, no, I don't know. It's not worth it.
So I wanted to create something a little bit more epic. I was like, there was some scene where I wanted like a kind of like a waterfall with blood, something for the backstory. But how am I going to do that? How am I going to do like a burning temple? I'm not going to a temple and burn it down just for the realism. So I was experimenting with AI, and the result was really
fantastic,
astounding. In fact.
I'm curious. What does this software price out for? What's the price?
What do you mean?
How do you pay? How much is it?
For Midjourney, I think there's different packages. So it's I think it's like there's $10 for like the basic one. There's $30 which you can do unlimited.
So it gives you probably like a cap on how many images you can create.
$30 for unlimited.
A month.
Yeah. And I think it's but that's open. People can look at your prompts. They can probably look at it and steal your prompts. If you want to do it private, then you have to pay extra as well.
Right. So you can trademark things and all that good stuff.
That's
so
crazy.
It's like an Adobe subscription.
It's like crazy because we've talked about this before. It's like when a new industry opens up, then it just creates other new businesses.
We're in an industrial revolution, like the starting
fourth generation. What do they call it? The fourth gen industrial revolution.
Yeah, we're at the start of it.
Yes,
It's like we don't know what's going to happen.
I'm excited.
Yeah, the next 10, 20 years, God knows. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of
right.
excited for it. Like, for me,
I'm
I can
excited
see
too.
the opportunities.
Overthrow the
For
government.
sure, definitely.
I don't think that'll happen.
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me
I
ask
don't
y'all. Do you think humans are going to find a way to beat death
To beat death.
through technology?
Do we
Jeff
want
Bezos
to?
is going to try his ass off.
For
word?
sure, without a doubt. What's funny is they asked Musk this, and Musk is like, I don't want to live forever. He's like, nah. And he's like, that doesn't sound appealing at all.
Yeah,
but
right.
what's interesting, I don't think, personally speaking, whether I think extending our life is fine, but people need to die.
Well,
Well,
hold on.
they found the gene in jellyfish that jellyfish
Right, they
keeps them. It
yeah.
makes them immortal.
Right.
So I think we could
put it in
maybe make
babies.
a human jellyfish that will live forever.
Oh God,
I don't want to live in
We're coming-
the sea is
Aquarium.
scary.
Oceans are scary, terrifying. First time I ever was in open ocean was like, they're like, we're gonna go swim with the turtles, and I was like, sick. But you jump off the boat, there ain't no turtles, there ain't no coral. You gotta swim over to the coral. They're like, you can't jump in on top of the coral, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Oh,
Man,
my
first time you're in that
God.
open
I've
ocean.
been doing a fantasy series like underwater. So
Is
you
it-
look like a great model for that if you want.
Can I dress up
Let's
as
get him
Cthulhu?
in there.
Can I dress up as
Seriously,
Cthulhu?
get him as like merman, like
I'll be a
mermaid
mermaid.
man.
I'll be a merman. Mermaid.
Yeah.
Depends what you want, man. I'll be a mermaid too.
Osaka Aquarium, so I can.
I want to be a
set
whale.
something
I want to be a whale shark, man. I want to look like Jinbei from One Piece. You know,
No.
make me a whale shark.
Yo, I was watching Dune
One Piece.
yesterday.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
No.
You've watched it like 9 times.
Dune is so good. If you haven't watched the audience, please. But yo, they're at the point where people own worlds. You know what I'm saying? They're like the kings and queens of the world, and then
Britain did that already, just with islands and continents. Didn't work out that great.
But it's just crazy because then they need this planet Dune where they get this hallucinogenic
Drugs.
spice that fuels space travel. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then so there was this Harkonnen, I think the Harkonnens.
Yeah.
They own that space for 80 years, and so like think of like the oil, like how oil isn't on the earth. You know what I'm saying? They were making billions.
Still are.
Like, yo, that's just it's
Royal
just.
Saudi Arabian family.
When I think of stuff like that, it's like, yo, on Earth, you know, you can go to Japan, China, America, Australia, you feel me? But they're going across galaxies. you
Soon
feel
enough,
me?
man. As he's saying, we're at the beginning of that. We are at the
Yeah,
busiest
that's so
time
true.
we are at the beginning of the commercial space industry, which is like my end game goal of life. Is I would love to do
Go
business
Mars?
to success. Well, just to be involved in the space
It's
industry.
gonna be so crazy because at that time they're gonna have just your head, Asa's head, in a glass. Yeah,
I'm gonna become like the Metroid Prime, like big bad.
your body's
Yeah.
gonna be all
Do you
robotic.
know about
robotic.
Psyche? The comet Psyche.
Nah.
Comet. There's a comet floating around. You know, comet, right? Space rock. Space rock. Yeah, it's called Psyche. It is estimated to be worth like double the global economy. Like, there's so many minerals on this rock. Platinum, diamond, gold, lithium, whatever, like all the important stuff that powers all of our tech around us. It's like there's so much of it on this rock in space that like whoever can get to this rock,
Oh my
claim
God.
it, and mine it is, you know, set.
I think you're in
And-
the wrong game, Asa. Why
No,
are you
it's
messing
all
with?
legal.
You're messing with
Space mining.
vertiports.
Hey
I think
man, well you
need
gotta
to go with
get
Psych.
started somewhere, man. You can't. Actually, interesting thing. Japan's startup ecosystem is just, you know, really kicking into gear. One of the busiest aspects of the Japanese startup ecosystem is the space industry, specifically satellite development. There's a bunch of startups making. There's one startup that made a laser on a satellite to shoot space debris, because we're at a very, like, all of our space dreams could die in the next 10 years if we keep putting trash in space.
Right,
because
right.
trash in space moves very fast, and a penny can blow a hole in a rocket really, really quick. So we end up with the real possibility of trapping ourselves on Earth because there's too much dirt.
I wonder
Trash.
what, like, if Japan had like a Star Wars, what their Starship Troopers would look like, and like
Just one big red dot. That's all it would look like.
Doraemon.
Guys,
Doraemon.
Can you imagine a bunch of Doraemon and TIE fighters? That would be awesome. Put that in
Space
your
battleship
Put that in your
Yamato.
AI
Okay,
generator.
that's it, yes.
Doraemon, TIE
Doraemon?
fighter.
Yeah, okay.
Doraemon, TIE fighter,
I'll send it to
Japan,
you.
space battle. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Guys,
beautiful.
if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe, tell your friends. We got more content coming to you on the Kansai Collective. Chris, as always, absolute pleasure. Been
We're
here
gonna be
quite a
doing
bit.
the Kansai Collective maybe forever if they figure out how to.
God help us. If we can keep finding more content for that, then by all, we'll be 60. Like this episode of the Why Do You Like Osaka? Crazy. Guys, tune in, subscribe to the Patreon so we can keep bringing you guys more content, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, TikTok reels, episodes before they're live. You guys want to support, it allows us to make better content for you. Always
support.
Our social medias, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We're trying to, as we've said many times, trying to get into the habit. Again, thank you to our sponsors, Tomo Morisawa here at the deck for giving us this
make it
wonderful
happen.
space, Homachi, Osaka, Japan. Aaron, Edge Wilderness, Zane, Hinomaru, Skyscape Ushigaisha, bringing you guys all the love,
Skyscape.
Kansai Collective, and we'll see you next
We got
time.
commas in our bank account.
Peace.
That's fine.
West side of Japan.